I'm
So, hello, it is a great privilege today. We have a special guest from all the way from America, and it's a profound honor to welcome a man whose words have sparkled the global spiritual revolution and touched the lives of the millions of people. So, we know in Czech Republic, but also worldwide, that your best-selling trilogy, Conversations with the God, was just so amazing and really deeply touching even me, because I was awakening at the time, about probably 30 years ago. It's quite a long time now. So beyond best-selling author of nearly 40 books, you are the messenger, and really it's great that you show us this true relationship with the divine. So Neale, thank you so much for being with us today, and it's really true privilege to have you here. And also I'd like to invite our host today, Susie, which will be talking with I see Santa Claus, which is also quite nice. So you can start, and it's great to have you here.
Thank you. That's a very nice thing to say, and I appreciate all of those very nice words. How can I serve you?
Well, thank you again, Neale, for coming, for accepting the challenge to talk today about quite a special topic. And the topic is conscious civilization and co-creation of the desired reality for humanity. So we can go straight to your wisdom, because we cannot wait for your profound wisdom. And what does it mean, Neale, to you, conscious civilization? How can you see it?
First of all, Susie, with your permission, I have to make a correction. I don't have any profound wisdom to offer. I have spent 30 years trying to help people understand this is not my wisdom. I am not a wise person. And incidentally, no joking, I'm very serious. People who know me personally would probably tell you that I'm not a very wise person. I'm no more wise than anybody else. I'm just a normal human being. But I did take dictation. I took dictation. I was given some wisdom to share in an experience that I called my conversation with God. And it's been my awareness that all of us are having conversations with God all the time. We're simply calling it something else. We might call it women's intuition, or an epiphany, or a sudden insight, or whatever words we want to use, because most of us wouldn't have called it, a conversation with God. But that's how I experienced it. And then I was told that I would turn it into a book, turn my dialogue into a book that would be accessed by many people. And I thought, no, that's not going to happen. Nobody's going to publish a book because a man in the United States claims to be talking to God. I mean, no publisher is going to put a book out like that. So Susie, I sent it, my notes, my handwritten notes, to a publisher just to see what would happen. And the publisher decided to put the book out. And to my astonishment, it wound up being read by people around the world. Millions, frankly, I'm not bragging, I'm just saying what happened. Millions of people wound up reading the book. And then they falsely thought that I had all this wisdom. And then they come on programs and they say, we're going to ask Neale to share of his profound wisdom. No, I got to make a correction. We're not here to talk about my profound wisdom. But if you're willing to have me share with you the wisdom that I was given to share in my dialogue with God, that I will be happy to do. So thank you for letting me make that correction, because I don't want people to think that I'm this really, really wise person.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now, you could have said the most handsome man in the world, and I would have agreed. But
Sure, you are handsome, and we also love you so much. And you know that, Neil, that we really love spending time with you, and that it's some special moments always. And your energy is so beautiful and right. So, okay, then the other part of the question was, how do you see conscious civilization? What does it mean to you? But as we are moving towards possibly to this moment.
to me, a conscious civilization, according to what I was told in my conversation with God, conscious civilization is a civilization made up of people who understand who and what God is, the purpose of life on earth, and who and what we are. So, a conscious civilization is a species that is clear that each of us, every single one of us, is an individuation of divinity, and that all of us are connected, that we are all one. Susie, that was the first message that I received in over 3,000 pages of Conversations with God dialogue. The first message I received in chapter 1, book 1, we are all one. And if we treated each other as if we were all one, we would create a conscious civilization. We would stop hurting each other when we don't get what we want. We would stop hurting ourselves when we hurt each other. And we would create a world in which we could all experience joy, peace, freedom, and happiness without having to trade other people for their good behavior. You know, Susie, a conscious civilization understands that, number one, there is a God, there is a higher power. And you know what's interesting about that, Susie? Recently, I mean, in the past 4 or 5 years, sociologists have gone around the world taking a single question survey, a one question survey. They've asked people in many, many different countries, do you believe in a higher power? And over 85% of the people said yes, they believe in a higher power. But it's what people believe about the higher power that causes us to be unconscious, to not be a conscious civilization. Susie, most people who believe in a higher power, not everyone, but most people who believe in a higher power, believe that the higher power is judgmental, condemning, and punishing if we don't do what the higher power wants. So we think that God's love is a transaction. We think that God's love is transactional. You know, like a powerful nation would deal with a smaller nation. Give me what I want, I'll give you what you want. If you don't give me what I want, you won't get what you want. No, wait, it's worse. If you don't give me what I want, I will not only fail to give you what you want, I will actually punish you with everlasting damnation. I will send you to hell for the rest of eternity because you failed to give me what I want. Susie, this is the kind of God that most people on earth believe in. And that's very sad because God's love is not transactional. You know what God said to me Neale, I love you without condition. I don't love you if. I love you because you are my creation. For the same way that you love your own children. And so we have a challenge ahead of us, Susie. We have to find a way to convince the members of our civilization of two things. Number one, that we are all individuations of divinity. And number two, that we're all connected, that we're all one being, simply demonstrating in individual form. You know, Susie, when I asked God to help me understand that, here's what she said. She said, Neale, hold up your hand. I said, okay. God said, how many fingers do you have? I said, I'm fortunate. I have all 5 fingers. God said, are they all the same? I said, no, they're not all the same. They're all different. They have different functions, different appearances. God said, are they separate? I said, well, no, they're not separate. They're all part of the same hand. God said, you are also not identical. You are all individual, but you are not separate. You are all fingers on the hands of God. As
Beautiful.
the French would say, voila.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, thank you for this example. It makes it more understandable. And your mission is so important, the oneness mission, really. And we've been thinking a lot lately, many people around the world, how to actually share this message so that more people understand this. And on this summer solstice, as I already told you, there will be some practical steps how to connect as many people as possible. And just symbolically we will try symbolically to announce the rise of conscious civilization so that people are more aware that yes, it's here, and now we can all together start co-creating the desired future. And I wanted to ask you, Neale, what do you think that an individual that is a passive observer at this time, how can he move to become co-creator, and what of the desired future for humanity, and what would you tell these individuals about their specific role in this global shift?
I would tell them the same thing that Mr. Gandhi said years ago when Gandhi was asked the same question. And Mr. Gandhi's reply, be the change you wish to see in the world. Very simple answer. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Excuse me. When you go through the world, when you move through your life, be the change you wish to see in the world. Behave in the way that can bring an awareness and a higher level of consciousness to all those whose lives you touch. By the way you speak, by the things you do, even by the way you think. Because people can often tell even what you're thinking. So move through the world from a place of pure love. That's what each individual can do. touch everyone else whose life you come in contact with. Touch them with an expression of pure love. That's the kind of love, Susie, that asks for, needs, expects, and of course demands nothing in return. You know what, Susie? Most human beings can't even love the person on the pillow next to them that way. Much less can we imagine a God who loves us that way. It took me, I'm sorry to say, 50 years to learn how to love the person next to me in the way I'm describing, where I can finally, having evolved to a little place of understanding. As I said, I'm not a wise person, but I have grown a little bit in the past 30 years. And I can now turn to my beloved spouse, the lady who spends her life with me. And I can say to her, I love you, sweetheart, no matter what. I don't love you because of what I can get from you. I love you because of what I see across the room, whether I get anything from you or not. If I only love you because of what I get from you, then I'm not loving you at all. I'm simply loving me, using you as a way to do it. No. That's not pure love. That's a transaction. That's a business deal. I don't love you as a business deal, sweetheart. I love you no matter what. Nothing you could do or say could stop me from loving you. That's what God says to us. And most people can't believe that. Most people cannot believe in a God who says that. That's what's so sad. And that's why the world is the way it is, Susie. That's why we've had armed conflict on this planet for all but 5% of recorded history. And even today, as we look around the world, armed conflict, people dying, people being killed, because we simply cannot understand how to love each other and how to disagree agreeably. I'm not suggesting we should never have another disagreement for the rest of our lives. I'm simply saying that when we disagree with others, a conscious civilization finds a way to disagree agreeably. By the way, Susie, you're going to sadly find out that when you ask me 30-second questions, I give you 10-minute answers.
I love it. Go on. I could listen forever. But this is a great, great lesson. And every man should really listen to this, what you just said. And
every woman, too.
And women, yes.
Not just every man. Excuse me. She said every man should listen to. Hello, every woman also, Susie.
Yes, I'm talking about you being such a great husband, you see. So that's being
that's
you
true.
as
That's
a role model.
I am the world's greatest husband. There's no question about that. I'm also the most humble person you'll ever meet in your life.
Yes. So you, you are a role model in this sense. And I always love whatever you say. I love your sense of humor as much as well. And right, Neale, The next question I wanted to ask you is about many people talk about creating a reality like manifestation, right? Creating the reality ourselves. But uh, truly, how can we distinguish true co creation from the illusion of control driven by the ego?
Well, in my observation, in my experience, the ego thinks that this is who I am.
Hmm.
The ego thinks that I am a physical body, and that this is who I am. The ego thinks that I am my body and my mind. But the soul understands that this is not who I am, and this is not who I am. That my body and my mind are simply tools, pieces of equipment that are being used by my soul to move forward with its agenda. So, messages that come to us from the ego, from the mind, are
Hmm.
messages that, the word ego, E-G-O in English, E-G-O, edging God out.
Hmm.
We're edging God out because the ego is only concerned with what feels good in my body
Hmm.
and what feels good in my mind. But the soul has a different agenda completely. The soul's agenda is to announce and declare, to express and fulfill, to become and to experience who we really are in our
Hmm.
physical life, to demonstrate that we are individuations of divinity. And if all of us did that, the world would change overnight. The
Yeah.
world would change for the better overnight.
And then we can let God co create um, the next moves of
God does not
heaven
even
on earth.
create. See, it's not God's, in my understanding, it's not God's job to co-create anything, to create the next move. God's not up there creating
Hmm.
the next move for humanity. God says,
Hmm.
no, no, no. If I did that, then I would be nothing more than you know, a monarch who tells his subjects what to do, and this is what's going to happen next. No, no,
Hmm.
no. It's not. God made it very clear to me. Neale, said God to me, Neale, I don't create your experiences. I give you collectively and individually the power to create your experiences. My
Hmm.
desire, said God, my desire is to give you the power to create and to manifest what you choose to experience in your life. So that's God's job and that's God's desire. God's desire is not to tell us what to do or to co create our experiences. God's
Hmm.
desire is to empower us to create and to experience what we wish to encounter in our life. I could be wrong about all of that, of course, but that's my understanding.
Hmm. Yes, yes. I was just thinking about the way you suggest how to manifest, and you made some profound, some really interesting statements that let God do her part. You see, so that's what I was thinking about co-creating, because sometimes we just have to let go and you know let
Let
the
go and let God.
yes.
Yeah, but when we let God, what we are letting God do, we are letting God empower us to
Hmm.
see more clearly what
Hmm.
serves us at the highest level and how to manifest what we
Hmm.
wish to experience in our moment to moment reality.
Perfect. Hmm. Thank you for clearing this out because I was thinking about this a lot. Okay, all right. So the next question is about the turning point, right? We are a lot is being said about the turning point of humanity or critical point. Everybody has a different point of view, but what do you think? What would be the clear sign that we have arrived to this turning point and that we have entered the era of conscious civilization? What would be the clear sign?
The clear sign would be when the largest number of people stand up and say, no more. No
Yeah.
more killing, no more fighting, no more cruelty, no
Mm.
more. Let me give you an example of what I mean when I say no more. Over 1.5 billion people on the planet, 1.5 billion people
Yes.
in this moment still do not have electricity in their house. And
Mm.
that's in the first part of the 21st century. I mean, electricity is, come on.
Water too. I think it's even more people don't have
What,
water.
yes, that's correct. 1.6 billion people do not even have access to clean water.
Mm.
2.5 billion people do not even have bathrooms. They have to relieve themselves outside. This is the kind of primitive civilization that we have created, and we are
Mm.
doing nothing to change it.
Yeah.
Even though we have the power to, we could provide electricity for everybody on the planet overnight if we wanted to.
Mm.
We simply don't want to. We could
Mm.
provide clean water for people all over the world if we wanted to. We simply don't want to.
Mm.
And the result of that is that more than 19,000 children die each day. 19,000 children die every day from preventable diseases, pneumonia, diarrhea, malaria, diseases that could be prevented if we simply provided simple, basic items like clean water,
Mm.
and for that matter, health care, benefits. We have medicines that could help hundreds of thousands of people. But you know what? If you can't afford the medicine, you can't have it. No, because we have to make a profit.
Yeah. So.
That's the kind of civilization we have created. And so, what could change it? When enough people stand up and say, stop it,
Yeah.
stop it, stop behaving like primitive people.
Mm. Thank you. Yes. Well, that's our mission, Neil, on the summer solstice. Um, it would be so beautiful if enough people did what you just said and stood up and said, "All right, we want to mature as humanity because we are responsible for our own beings, right?" And I guess the critical mass is about 70,000 people. So 70,000 people can do the change. Do you believe that it can be done like in practically we can change quantum leap immediately, or is it just illusion? Or do you think that we have the power to change it quickly?
Well, of course we do. Clearly we do. My gosh, we just sent people to the moon, for heaven's sake. They just came back from the other side of the moon.
Hmm.
I mean, come on. Obviously, we have the ability to create miracles, to create outcomes, to create experiences that we wish to create. The answer is obviously yes. All we need are enough people to decide to join in doing so. You know, Gloria Steinem, is a wonderful example. Gloria Steinem, a few years ago, said, it's not okay that men earn more than women for doing the same job with the same level of efficiency. But men earn more doing this exact same work because they're male, and women should not earn as much as men. And Gloria Steinem said, no, enough, enough. Now, if the person can do the work, whether they're men or women, they should be paid equally. What a simple idea. Harvey Milk stood up a few years ago in San Francisco, California, and said, wait a minute. The privileges of marriage, being able to visit your beloved in the hospital, to give you one example of a privilege of marriage, should be given to everybody, even if the people who are married are of the same sex. It's okay. Everybody relax. If you love each other and you're the same sex, it's okay. Let same-sex marriage become legal. And he changed the world. All of a sudden. Gloria Steinem changed the world. Harvey Milk changed the world. And you know who else changed the world? Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stood up one day a few decades ago and said, I have a dream. I have a dream that one day all men will be treated equally, regardless of the color of their skin, or their religion, or their economic status, or their sexual orientation. Come on, grow up, people, grow up. And we have found that it is possible. So to answer your question, of course it's possible. All we have to do is find a few more idea heroes like Gloria Steinem, like Harvey Milk, like Martin Luther King Jr. We need more idea heroes, people who are willing to stand up and be heroic in their announcement, in their declaration, and in their demonstration of how to treat each other with pure love. Yes, even if we disagree.
Well, yes, let's do it this summer solstice. Let's do it. It's, the ground is ready. The energy is ready for that. People are ready. So many people are awakened. And I guess even the indigenous people, their prophecy of eagle and condor points to this year that the transformation will happen this year. So I believe we can really manage to rise the conscious civilization and announce it. We just can start by announcing it symbolically, right? But then we have to, or not we have to, but work towards the conscious civilization. And I wanted to ask you if imagine that we really succeed in creating the conscious civilization. What do you believe will become that today feels almost unimaginable? Like when Martin Luther King said he has a dream, or that women will be treated equally, paid equally. So what do you think can be unimaginable right now and can happen in conscious civilization?
Well, we just talked about several things. What could happen is that we will no longer have billions of people who don't even have clean water. What will happen is that we will no longer have billions of people who don't have even electricity. who don't
Yeah.
even have a bathroom in their house. What will happen is that no one will ever starve to death again.
Perfect.
You know what? 365 children die on this planet every hour. Folks, listen to what I'm telling you. You got to hear this. I'm not making these numbers up. You can check these numbers out.
Yes, yes, yes.
356 children die on this planet every hour of what?
Starvation.
No, you can't take my punchline away from me, Susie. When I set it up, you got to let me do the punchline. The answer is what? Starvation. Seriously, all joking aside, are you telling me that on a planet where we throw away enough food unfinished on our plate in the restaurants of Paris, Tokyo, London, Los Angeles, and Chicago, that we throw away enough food that we're not finished eating to feed an entire village in certain parts of the world for a week? Come on, people, come on. It's time to get past I have a dream. It's time to move into I have a vision of who we really are. And I have a determination. I have a commitment to produce the outcome in every way that I can. To do what I can as an individual. To give people back to themselves. That's the invitation that God has given to all of us. Neale, she said, give people back to themselves.
So true, Neale. So true. Yeah.
I know you thought I'd been lying from the beginning, but it is all true.
So how can be the economy changed? In how would it look like in conscious civilization? Obviously, it wouldn't be based on scarcity, fear, but it would be based on and profit, of course. But it would be based on something entirely different. So, what do you think?
I don't think, I want to make it clear, I don't think there's anything wrong with making a profit.
Mhm,
There's nothing wrong with making a profit, with
mhm.
making more than we're spending in order to provide a service or a product to others. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So I don't want people to think that I want to, create upheaval in the entire economic system of the planet.
Right.
But what would occur is that we would make sure that no one goes absolutely without the fundamental basics that people need to live a life of dignity, painlessness, and sufficiency. People ought to be able to, in a planet where we throw away enough food to feed an entire village for a week, we ought to be able to create sufficiency. There is enough food. All we have to do is share. There's enough money. All we have to do is share. There's enough power. All we have to do is share. And Susie, there's enough love. All we have to do is share. It's so simple. It's so simple. And there was a man who told us 2,000 years ago. He was walking around on the planet and he told us 2,000 years ago, do unto others as you would have it done unto you. Simple. Simple. No mystery here. And that's what the new world will look like when we all decide we've had enough of the way the world has been.
Yeah. Yes. I believe that it can be changed as well, rapidly. And because children, you see, they are so important. And I wonder how would even the education would look like in conscious civilization. What would
Excuse me. You're making me choke.
yes, it's
Your
very
ideas are so wonderful. You're making me choke up.
take your time. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Take my time. Let's see. I have another 5.5 hours. Susie, we would teach our children new ideas. We would give our children new ideas about fairness, about equality, about divinity, new ideas about divinity, and new ideas about who all of us really are. We would teach new ideas to our children. We would stop telling children that God judges, condemns, and punishes you forever. Let me give you an example. I know this is hard to believe for some people, but this happened to me when I was 9 years old. Susie, I was 9 years old, and I was going to a parochial elementary school. It was a school that was run by the Catholic Church. I'm not here. I'm not a Catholic basher, so don't get me wrong. But I'm giving you a real life experience here. The priest from our parish church came in once a week to our third grade class to teach us what he called catechism. You know, the doctrines and the dogmas of the Catholic Church. Okay, fair enough. And one week he was teaching us about mortal sin, what the Catholic Church calls mortal sin, and what the Catholic Church calls venial sin, you know, kind of a spiritual misdemeanor. And so, and he was telling us all about, you know, if you commit a mortal sin, you're going, and you die with that sin on your soul, if you haven't confessed it, you're going straight to hell.
Yeah.
And hell, we were told, was eternal, endless cruelty, suffering, damnation. So I raised my hand. I'm 9 years old. I raised my little innocent hand. I said, Father, can you give us an example of what a mortal sin is? And the priest said, certainly, my son. It's a mortal sin if you miss Mass on Sunday. What? If I miss going to church 1 week of my life, God will condemn me to everlasting damnation? If I don't confess that sin ahead of time and be forgiven by a priest in confessional? So I asked, I got so scared. I said, Father, what if I'm on my way? What if I'm on my way to confession and I get hit by a car on the way to confession? I want to confess my sin that I missed Mass on Sunday because I went and played baseball. Oh, I'm just a 9-year-old kid, you know. I didn't know that this was such a big rule. What if I get hit by a car on the way to confession? Wouldn't God understand and say, well, he's a 9-year-old child. He was coming to confession. He just didn't make it. There was an accident and he got killed in the accident. Wouldn't I then be spared everlasting damnation? And the priest said, no, my son, I'm sorry. If you die with that sin on your soul, you will go to hell. Talk about filling the pews with fear. Trying to fill the church with fear that if you don't go to church, you're going to go to hell. What kind of a God is this? What kind of a religion is that? And that's not the only religion on the face of the earth. Many of the world's religions have certain rules and regulations, rules about what you should wear, the kind of clothing you can wear.
Sure.
Especially if you're a female. Here we go again. And some religions teach that a female is not allowed to leave the house without being in the company of a male relative. Some religions have rules about what you can eat and what you can't eat, the kind of food that's okay and the kind of food that's not okay. We believe in a God who's looking over us. You better do what I say. And I'm not trying to be funny. I wish this were funny, but it's not funny. It's the basis of many of the world's 4,000 religions. Guys, I've been asked on television and radio programs for the past 30 years, what's God's most important message to the world? I would like to provide that answer, but Susan hasn't asked me. She's the only interviewer that never asked me.
I know the answer.
Oh, I know.
I know
She's
the answer.
going to give the punchline. She's going to give the answer. She's not going to ask the question, but she's going to provide the answer. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. What a tough interview.
You tell it, Neale. The floor is yours.
Well, I was asked really on the Today Show, which was an internationally telecast program all over the world years ago, what's God's most important message to the world? And the interviewer said, could you put it in one paragraph? We have only 30 seconds left in our interview. And I looked at the interviewer and I said, you know what? I don't need 30 seconds. I don't need one paragraph. I can tell you in 5 words. And the interviewer looked at the camera and he said, well, folks, God's most important message to the world in 5 words. Neale? A little bit of skepticism there. But I shared what I had been told is God's most important message to the world. You've got me all wrong. You've got me all wrong. I love you without condition. I don't send you to hell for all eternity for missing Mass, for heaven's sake. Or breaking the rule that you shouldn't eat a certain kind of meat. You shouldn't eat pork. Pork is not okay. Or that you shouldn't go out of the house without having your entire head covered and your face covered and your entire body covered. If you're a female, if you're a male, it doesn't matter, but if you're a female. You've got me all wrong, said God. Can you imagine a God who loves you the way you love your children? A God who loves you no matter what. Is it too good to be true? And when I was told this by God, Susie, I said to God, you know what? You're too good to be true. It's too good to be true. And you know what she said to me? God said, Neale, if God can't be too good to be true, who can? I heard that loud and clear. She was right. God can be too good to be true, and he has been throughout human history. And he will be too good to be true for the rest of all eternity, because that's the kind of being that she is.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, of course. I could be wrong about all of that.
Well,
but I don't think so.
God is only one, as we are one. We are one family, human family. And it makes me think, Neale, you see, because we are on a similar mission, and that is uniting religion as well, which is one of the I believe, one of the most difficult missions. And well, let's imagine that again we succeed in this mission one day, and then how would be we won't need religion that is looks like at the moment, right? The religion obviously would be very different. So in conscious civilization, again, how would it look like? What role would play religion?
Religion would simply be reminding us, not
Mm,
warning us. The difference is that religion would stop being a warning and it would simply be a reminder
very good. Yeah.
of what is true. And religion would be an institution that reminds us of what is true about God, what is true about life, and what is true about each one of us.
Mm. Yes, so religion is awaiting, I guess, a big reconstruction. Otherwise, soon nobody will be able to follow some of those ideas, right? Because people are awakening and they are seeing the truth. And science, of course, proves that we are all part of one energy, and this will be more and more obvious. So religion, you see, my dream, I can tell you this. My dream is to build a temple, a spiritual temple for humanity one day, where we can actually show different religions or different philosophical eras of the history and how it's all connected, right? That we can make it like rooms for this religion, and there will be history of all these religions, and then there will be one big room connecting all this together and showing that it's really a cosmic fate. Yeah.
It's going to be a very big, large building, however, because if there's
Yeah.
one room for all the world's religions, there are presently 4,223 religions on the face of the
Mm,
earth.
yeah.
So it's not like 5 or 6 religions or 8 or 10 religions. There
Mhm.
are 4,223 religions
Mm,
now being practiced on the face of the earth. So you're
mm,
talking about a building as big as the entire city of New York
mm,
with 4,000 individual rooms and then one room large enough so that all the other people can come from those 4,000 religions and sit down in the same place. So I think it might be difficult to create a building like that, but it
mm.
doesn't necessarily have to be a physical building. All it has to be is something that we build inside the human heart.
Yeah, the stuff. Temple inside us.
Yes, yes, yes. The temple inside. That's the name of Susie's new book, The Temple Inside.
Yeah, you keep giving me these books. I have already 5 books to write from you. But one day, yes, the temple. Actually, I have something written about this, but never mind that this is not important right now. Um, Thinking about all the systems, like, so we discussed religion, education, we discussed economics. How about governance? how would the governance look like? Because we would have to redefine that as well. I don't think we would need the political systems that are like now. And
Government would no longer govern us. Governments would guide us. And there's a difference between being governed and being guided. A good parent does not govern. A good parent guides. So the change I see in answer to your question is that governments would not cease to exist, but they would cease to govern us with all kinds of laws and rules and regulations. They would simply guide us. Let me give you a simple example of where government does not need laws and rules and regulations to simply guide us. I was in Paris a few years ago. I'm in, every so often my work takes me to Paris. I'm very lucky. I get to go to one of the world's most beautiful cities. And in Paris, I was driving around what's known as, the Champs-Élysées. And I was driving around the circle. There's a circle in Paris around the statues, Champs-Élysées, around the
arc.
The Arc de Triomphe. You know what, guys? There are no traffic signals on that circle. There aren't even any lane markings. There's no speed limit. People come into the circle and they go out of the circle. And there's no traffic light. There's no stoplight. There's no stop sign anywhere. There's no governing being done on that circle. You know why? Because when people enter the circle, they know they have to take care of each other. Because they understand that taking care of each other is the best way to take care of themselves. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that.
Sure, yes. So we need more wisdom-based leaders.
Yes. And so on that circle around the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, there's no governing. We are not governed. We are simply guided by our own innermost sense of how to get across that circle without hurting ourselves or hurting anyone else. It's really very simple.
But how can we explain this to the rulers who are ruling over our lives these days? It's
by casting our vote in a way that removes rulers who don't understand what it is that the people are choosing to create.
Yes. Or we just simply start creating ourselves and they can take an example, maybe one day.
Voila. I've enjoyed being on the program with you, Susie. Thank you for asking me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you, Neale. Thank you. Do we still have a few minutes or do you have to go?
No, we have another 4 or 5 hours.
All right. I forgot. Okay. And Neale, I want to ask you, people work a lot these days. Some of my friends, they have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go to work every single day until 3, 4, 5. They don't have time to live their lives. And what do you think in conscious civilization? How would the work look like? Would it be perhaps more based on creativity, or what do you think that how would we work conscious civilization?
I think that each human being would be given the opportunity to share their gifts with humanity in a way which produced sufficient income to generate whatever they felt that they wanted or needed in their life, but in a way that allowed each person to experience their life with dignity, sufficiency, and comfort. Very simple.
Yeah, beautiful. I have two more questions, Neale. Then we can discuss whatever you like. But you see, we're talking about this powerful, powerful topic, and I wonder sometimes if there is some shadow side to it, as we want to move toward something greater, the greatest possible reality for humanity. But what are the potential risks or illusions as we move towards?
I think the risks disappear when the commitment and the determination takes over. When we are determined to be of benefit to each other, when we are determined to give people back to themselves, when we are determined to demonstrate pure love for all those whose lives we touch, even people with whom we disagree. That doesn't mean that we condone or approve of any negative behavior that hurts other people, but it does mean that we have compassion and we have understanding, and we seek to do what we can to alter their point of view in a way that causes them to discontinue negative or harmful behaviors. It's really very simple.
Yes, when you talk about it, it all makes sense. All right, and how about if an ordinary person decided that he or she wants to live a conscious life right now? What would you suggest them to be the concrete first step to start living it instead of just thinking about it as a philosophy, but to make it real?
To ask yourself when you move through life, what can I do or say right in this moment which can give people back to themselves and remind them of who they really are? For instance, as an example, a few years ago, I was coming out of a coffee shop, and the policeman was putting a ticket on my car because I had overstayed my parking. I don't know, do they have parking meters in the Czech Republic? But they do have parking meters in the United States. And if you overstay your parking meter, they give you a ticket, and you have to go and pay like $43 to pay a fine because you stayed too long in your parking space. Well, I came out of the coffee shop and the policeman was putting a ticket on my car. And I looked at him and I said, "Can we talk for a minute? I just want to say to you." He thought I was going to make some negative statement about, putting a ticket on my car. I said, "No, I'm not. I'm okay. You're just doing your job. But I want you to know that I'm clear that when you put that badge on your shirt in the morning, that you're making a promise. You're making a promise to come between me and any harm that could come to me. You're making a promise to protect me, even if it costs you your life. And I want you to know that I'm aware that you make that promise every single day. Thank you for being who you've chosen to be. And the policeman walked up to me and he said, "You know what, mister? I've been on this police force for 17 years, and no one in 17 years has ever said anything like that to me. You haven't just made my day, you've just made my career." And with that, he turned around and proudly walked away. Folks, give people back to themselves. When you know that someone is being an extraordinary version of humanity, tell them so. Let them know. When you see a parent being a wonderful parent, say to them, "I saw how you have behaved with your child. Nice going. You're a wonderful mother." Even tell the lady behind the counter at the coffee shop, "Thank you. I know you have to be here at 5 o'clock in the morning before all the early risers come in to get their morning coffee. And here you are being friendly, being kind, being efficient, getting people through. Thank you for being who you are." Folks, give people back to themselves. Tell them when you see who they are. Uplift them. If all of us did that, one day we'd all be as wonderful as Susie.
And you, Neale. And you. Thank you for being you, Neale. So wonderful. I feel so uplifted after being with you today again, and thank you for everything you shared with us. And I hope all these visions will become reality one day. Maybe we can't imagine it right now, but we are moving towards it.
Thank you, my friend. It was lovely to be here with you as well.
Thank
Bye for
you.
now.
Bye, Neale. See you soon.